Well, Apple says it sold 1 million of its new iPhones worldwide in the first 3 days after the handset made its debut. This next generation phone entrenches Apple as a major player in the U.S. handset market. Well, joining us is Gene Munster, Senior Research Analyst at Piper Jaffray. And Gene comes to us from Minneapolis. Gene, great to have you back on the program. Your prediction was or estimate was 500,000 phones sold. So you got it pretty wrong. What happened?
Well, the international really hit it out of the park, and we were at all the stores in the U.S. over the weekend and counting the rate that they were selling at. But clearly, the international, we far underestimated what's happened there. Demand in the 20 countries that essentially they started selling into the first time must have been phenomenal.
Now, how does that change your outlook for Apple? What about for the earnings?
Well, it definitely gets them off to a fast start. For the quarter, we're estimating that they'd do slightly over 4 million units. So the fact that they've done 1 million essentially this early in the quarter is a sign that there's probably some upside of those numbers. Given this just came out, we need to go back and look at our numbers. But it's safe to say this, is that the iPhone is the next mobile platform. This is about as strong as an endorsement as they've ever had. We continue to believe that 2009 is going to be a breakout year for the iPhones. This is definitely positive for what's going to ultimately come.
Wait, so I think I heard this, though, because you kind of glossed over it. You think they're going to exceed their target for the current quarter of over 4 million phones?
Well, given the fact that they just have done 1 million in the first 3 days of the phone, that would suggest that, again, we need to go back and really scrub our model. But this is definitely a faster start than we would have anticipated.
All right. Does this change your target price for Apple?
Right now, it doesn't. A lot of the revenue and the earnings that they recognize on this is deferred over 2 years, and so the impact doesn't really happen over the next 12 months. But again, this is a very strong endorsement in terms of the viability of the iPhone as a platform.
Okay, but on the other end, though, I mean, iPhone has had trouble grabbing the corporate market share from BlackBerry or RIM. Is that changing?
Probably with businesses that have 100 or less people, that's changing. But for real enterprise businesses, there's still very centric on BlackBerry. Nokia obviously is somewhat more consumer related, so they're probably going to be more competitive related to Apple. But there's still a huge market out there. We're talking 1.3 billion phones, and so there's lots of things to go around.
All right. And what about the fact that there's an opportunity cost with Apple requiring users to sign up exclusively with AT&T? Do you think Apple should rethink that model?
Well, based on the estimates that just came out this weekend, it seems that model is actually working. So the bottom line is that no one really wants to be held to one carrier, but given the success of the iPhone and people's interest in it, they're willing to look beyond that. So do they need to rethink it? I think the announcement today suggests that what their current plan is seems to be working.
That it's okay. All right. And very quickly, some people might be wondering, why are the iPhones selling so hot right now when you've got a consumer slowdown going on? What exactly makes Apple stand out here?
Well, really, it's people's their lives are changing, and I think that for $200 and $300, they're willing to essentially spend that money on something that's going to improve. I think what they see is improve their lives, and so I think this is essentially an example of a product that hits the sweet spot of what people want, and
Right.
So far it's been economically a little bit bulletproof.
All right, Gene, thank you so much for joining us. Gene Munster there of Piper Jaffray. We're going to be talking more about Fannie Mae and